All right. Well, we're here for the final one. So this is all about our favorite fights. So we're gonna go over this, probably talk round up with the tiers as well. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go over my tier list first. We can obviously go back and forth on some issues or comments we might have on it, but I'm gonna go over what I will place in my tier list, and then we'll go over yours and discuss what happens. Sounds good?
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Cool.
one big thing. It is now time to get rid of the F tier. It was necessary. It was a necessary evil for our last
Yep.
video, but it's not going to be needed anymore. So,
But God bless, there's not an F tier fight. Even though the prog sucked, not an F tier fight. It might be close. Well, we'll see.
I
For
don't
me,
think so.
though, my lowest one, and I'll start us off with, was in the B tier, and it's Vamp Fatale. It's just, it's your first fight in a tier. While this, I would probably say the last tier, heavyweight, is definitely the hardest tier. I don't feel like this is any more difficult than like a tier 2 fight. Like, I feel like Sugar Riot is tougher than Vamp Fatale, for example, or
Well,
any
you specified
like Dancing Green.
Sugar Riot. Sugar Riot's one of the hardest fights they've ever had. Are you sure?
Okay, I guess that's fair. I'll say Dancing Green. It's another tier 1, right? Like,
Yeah.
Dancing Green was not hard. Like, if anything, maybe Dancing Green was harder than Vamp Fatale. Maybe, if I'm thinking about it enough. But it's not about difficulty, it's just my favorite. And, like, a big stipulation for me of my favorites is I just want to have fun doing them, and I want to have fun when I re-clear them. So that's a pretty big caveat for it. And with all that being said, Vamp Fatale is easy to re-clear. Yep, just easy. And it's the same cadence with on my next one, which I like a little bit more just because aesthetics. Black Cat. Black Cat on my next one. Still in B, but that's rounding off B for me. As a first one, it's not my favorite first, but it's so fun because it's just like, it's also nostalgic too, a little bit like the start of this. I just really wanted to get into like raiding more in general, like solo, and this was part of that too. It wasn't super tough, and it didn't need to be. It was fun, and that's the big thing. And that's kind of with my Bs, is like those are my faves.
Yeah, they're both. They're still great fights. It's just funny. It's just like if these fights came out in like 8 years ago, they would be lauded as like amazing pinnacle fights. I feel like I don't actually. I've always just heard about the dark days of Heavensward or something. I don't know. So I actually don't know enough to know. But
yeah, especially like the brute justice thing. Like when we did that on mine, like that was tough, and like we have these knowledges of like how current things work and stuff. But, whew, yeah. All right, cool. So that's running on my Bs and going into the A.
Done with B.
Starting us off with, yeah, I don't think there's anything less.
Yeah,
than
you know
the
the
B
Arcadian's good when you're done with B tier after 2.
Yep.
Tyrant. Are you factoring the music into these, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's part of like the replayability aspect, right? I make jokes about like resetting songs all the time, but it is sincerely just about like it's the music that plays into it. Basically, picture the 3 categories we did today, which is the music, the prog, and the like overall being like your favorite too. All the things we talked about today, like those are that's what makes my favorite list. So Tyrant is the culmination of that as well, off the gate. While I think it's the hardest tier 3 fight, that doesn't necessarily make it the reason it's here. It's not as fun as the rest, but it was the reason why I didn't put it in B was because it's very fulfilling to clear that fight. Like I felt like I almost cleared an ultimate. That's how like crazy that week 1, especially the week 1. It feels fucking good to say I did Tyrant week 1.
Yeah.
Like that felt like it's like that should have been its own achievement.
Cut above the
in
rest.
This game. Yep. I don't even care that I cleared like Lindworm in the pattern that I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like
once we got to week 2, like I was at a crossroads. Like I could have gone hard in Lindworm, but like M11 took so much out of me, and I felt so accomplished after M11. I was just like, okay, we're just chilling. Like there's no rush to get that M12 cleared. I didn't intend to not clear it by week 2, but Then week 3, I just joined a random... M12 is so fast. I honestly, in hindsight, if I knew how fast and simple M12 was going to be, I should have just committed. But, like, I basically didn't play FF14 until the weekend of week 2, because I was so tired of it because of M11.
Following that up, the Brute Abominator. The thing that puts it above Tyrant, it's kind of the same thing. Not that I was like, oh my god, I'm glad I did that because I cleared it so quickly. It was just that was my favorite, the fast pace. It's my favorite fast paced fight in this entire Arcadian. It was so, like, for the fact of it being fast specifically, because there's other fast fights, but like if I'm just solely going off of fast alone, it's there. Other than that, it was just normal, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it's not bad. Normal was fun, and then that music, like, the rev up, the like constant like the like, oh man, it's so good. And to follow him is, unfortunately for him though, his original, you can't beat it, it's tough to. But
you have Brute Bomber above Abominator, okay.
Yep. I love Brute Bomber,
I agree.
man. Like,
I'm surprised.
That fight, it was like the first it was the first time, like, in this raid series in general, that I was like, okay, we got a little bit of a challenge now. Like, Honeybee, don't get me wrong, like, that was the DPS challenge, but I meant more like the mechanics-wise, you know? Like, it felt like, okay, now we gotta kind of lock in a little bit with, like, just mechanics, because the DPS check wasn't there. But Honeybee Lovely, if there wasn't a DPS check there, it would be
it would be whatever
one of the
fight.
easiest fights, probably. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at now. Then we're at the extremes. So the extremes...
I thought these might end up a bit higher for you.
No, it's not, and don't get me wrong, it's high A, right? Like,
yeah, it's hilarious like, that we're talking about.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's like a high A is lower here, right?
Yep.
It's just, when we're talking about the extremes, the prog does just kind of line into me, and it made me not like the song as much, you know? For at least a little bit.
You got tired of the RP faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest part. I don't think we kind of touched on the last one. Is that when progging this, that RP factor of like them spinning around, blowing up, it's like, like, can we just move forward here? And reprogging, it's kind of cool. Like, seeing it, like you get to like, yeah. But that, that's a piece of.
But the memeability of that fight bumps it up, honestly. Hey.
Oh, that's a line do this together, that we didn't call out.
Bro.
Yeah, what are you doing, huh? Having little two dudes having a little bro time. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And it's like, the one thing as well that was really fun that like you get to do when you start like reprogging is like getting better at your cleave timings, like optimizing that.
Yes, that added a huge amount to that fight. I had a lot of fun with that fight.
Yeah.
So streams are going to be a bit higher for me, as the spoiler.
Yep. Okay. Now, our first final boss of this one is Howling Blade. Wrapping up the A tier for me. The rest are all S's. I really enjoyed just the it's the only thing it could be. It's just, when we're talking about Howling Blade as the final one, it's a testament to say that the lowest final boss is the highest A possible. And I'm thinking of both here. It's just like you get to put both of them together in a way where it was the nice middle ground where you got to transition between them. And I will say, I think it was also a detriment to it. If it flowed like M4 did, it would be an S tier. But once again, when you prog and you have to wait for that transition to come through, I'm like, okay, can we move forward here?
That did not affect me at all, I'd say, because it was always after the bulk of the tough mechanics, whereas with the extremes, it was always right before the bulk of the mechanics. So usually, if you saw this cutscene, there's a good chance you were clearing. Of course, progging's a different story, but you have a pretty high chance of clearing given you're seeing it. Whereas with the extremes, if you're seeing that cutscene, it means nothing. So
And I will say again though, like with this, re-clearing didn't always mean a clear with this. It still left it there, but it never changed that. And you can say that about M4 because of Sunrise, but by that time you can skip Sunrise with gear, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And there were some stretches to talk about with like adding melee instead of like doing the tank LB. But Howling Blade though, I didn't really have it was all just very well done, and it was the difference between a Brute Abominator being here instead of Howling Blade being here is it was fast. It wasn't my favorite fast phase of a fight, but the amount of things that it changed from normal was really fun. The amount of things that you do during this from like a tank perspective too also laid out being really fun. And in general, it was also just overall for me, progging or re-clearing, it was fun because you got to learn about like changing your uptime with Revolutionary. And then you also got to change, like, as strats evolved, you held your last, like, your pot going into P2. You did an LB going into P2, and that added, like, timing windows to work out. That was super fun. All that together made it a better fight over time. And I enjoyed it more and more as it progressed, so that's why Howling Blade's wrapping up A for me. And I would say overall A, like a definitive, and I guess I can do this for B too, but B was just your, here, this is my all-arounder. There's not really anything super bad, but it doesn't define anything extra that puts it above that. Every single one that I gave so far for A was good all-arounder, but there was a piece of it that just elevated it to where I was like, I'm going to remember this fight. And that's really fun. Going into S tier now, every single one of these will leave an impression on me of, I hope that these next 5 are going to be fights that I hope they learn something from to carry over into whatever the next raid series is. And I really, really hope so. So starting this off at the bottom of S will be Lindworm 1. That will be the bottom one there.
And I did split them up. We have a Lindworm P2 picture now, so
the production quality here at FF Media is crazy. It's just, we're next level stuff. Make sure you stay subscribed to see the next innovation. But when we're talking about this, it's the next final phase one, but we're kind of separating a little bit because this one's different. It's a door boss. The music, I would say, for me, it just carries it a lot because it does feel so hyped to do anything in this that it's a fast fight because you're kind of doing something back to back. But it does stop because it's like, it's not RP, but I feel like anything you're disengaging from the fight is like RP. So Act 3, specifically, where you don't do anything for a little bit, like that, it's fast enough to where it's not like an extreme, you have to wait for them to wrap around the whole map and come back. But it's like, okay, can we move forward? Like, can I at least hit the boss while I'm doing this, I get why they don't, because like melee would have to be away and disengaged, I get it. But I don't know, I want to do something. And I just, that is the only reason that I don't have it above the second part of it. But it's not next. It's not next.
My main problem with P1 was it was missing a mechanic. The triple slaughter shed at the end was uncalled for. It needed one more mechanic and then maybe one slaughter shed at the end. Honestly,
or maybe like a slaughter shed. Yeah, maybe it like the final one would be like slaughter shed, new mechanic to like wrap it up, and then you can diversify whatever slaughter shed is, or just make slaughter shed different. I don't know, but yeah, I guess that's part of it
just
too.
Doing the same mechanic 3 times in a row. That's like, are you sure that was the right way to do it?
You sure about that?
Like, what if they made us do Act 2 3 times in a row? Imagine that. Yeah.
So what this took away from it was the music. Like, I hope they kind of involve more artists outside a little bit more, because you kind of saw that with, I think it was, there was like some band they had with one of the M4.
Oh,
well, like
Costanza,
like an outside
Christy
group.
Costanza.
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Like,
Christy.
This took that to the next level for me, because like I mentioned before, this made a song feel like a non-FF song while still being an FF song and being really freaking good.
Yeah.
My next one will be Honeybee Lovely. That's my
Okay, this she ended up a lot higher than I expected. She's gonna be a bit lower for me.
It's simple, but what I really liked it is I liked that it put accountability on people to make their DPS checks a little bit better, like super early on in the raid tier, and especially like number 2. And keep in mind, like you can make way more mistakes week 2, even especially plus like forward, right? But I like that challenge on there. It gave me my first like, okay, I feel like this is cool to like accomplish this fight. You know what I mean? Like that felt cool. And I like that feeling on it, and that's why it's there. Last one to kind of wrap up the finales here is Lim 4. M4 is next after Honeybee Lovely. I apologize. The biggest thing I loved is its new transition method that it introduced where it kind of flowed really well.
Yeah.
And that did it for me. Like that sold it the music transition too. I just felt like this big, huge event. This put like apocalyptic. I gotta stop this like wall boss.
It's actually one of a kind. The only one that comes close is like, I guess Titan, but Titan is full downtime. Like a mechanic that is the boss transitioning, I feel like is such a cool idea, and I really want to see them do it at least one time next expansion. Hopefully even 2. I mean,
they kind of do it with ultimates, right? Like, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. No, yeah. They do. But
yeah,
more
you're
of
right.
Savage.
In a Savage one, yes. That's like... Oh, it was just... It's so well done. It doesn't need to have a DPS check to be really fun. Besides Sunrise, but that's more of a PF issue, I don't have a problem with anything in this fight. And that's... On top of that, that's really good. But the transition piece, that really got me. Now it's Lindworm 2 for the next piece.
Okay.
And I think the biggest part with this is, once again, it's like the best like Final Fantasy song. Like they were able to really do like the culmination of the Raid series. That felt good. It innovated on that really well. I do think while there are other ones that it had, like in Endwalker, Athena has it, this felt more impactful. I don't know why. Like, it felt more of a... Like, you'll hear it when we go through it, but it felt stronger. Like, it felt like, okay, this is a fight. You know, like, we're ready to go. That was fun. And Idyllic Dream felt like it introduced, for the first time, in my opinion, what you mentioned before. It introduced an ultimate level mechanic in a Savage fight.
Yeah,
I don't know
if
we've seen that really yet. Yeah, it's
so
just...
nice.
It's those mechanics where you'll see... Like, people will talk about later on. Well, like P8S, you know, you had like second phase, like natural order or alignment, whatever it's called. You had what was it from High Concept? You had from the Omega series World. What was it?
Hello World. Yeah.
Yep. Like you had Hello World. Like people will talk about Idyllic Dream, and I thought,
I was gonna say I love how you do Idyllic and then it's the end of the fight, and so it's you do it for so much and then the fight ends, and it is every time you re-clear, the last thing you did was Idyllic. Like you did Idyllic and then you cleared, and it leaves such a lasting impression in your mind. Like you, for 4 minutes straight, you focused on doing Idyllic, and now you're done with your re-clears. That creates a unique dynamic where it's on your mind even more.
And not that this was a fast fight, but pacing wise, it's super short.
Yep. You do rep 1, you do rep 2, you do you dip your toe in blood mana, and then Idyllic done. It does feel so fast.
Yep. I love that. It's not like it is a fast fight, but it's a fast paced fight, and that's more important to me. So now, but I do want to say I have to lock in that Sugar Riot's my next favorite.
Okay.
It's gonna be second.
I understand.
I think obviously it's obvious what the other one is, at least you've been keeping track and what you see. But Sugar Riot has a good introduction to ad phases again for like the community.
Yep.
You haven't seen it in so long, and it's fun. Especially as we talked about with strats coming back and being better as we go along. It made it more fun as you progged it. I don't know if there's a fight on this list that as a strat came out that we progged during that it became more fun as it happened. Besides, like, just like, okay, it's solidified. Now I'm not more frustrated, right?
Mhm.
But like, Sugar Riot was not only the ad space introduction. I hope they bring back, which they kind of did with Vamp Fatale a little bit, right? At least like cleave targeting. They definitely got into not necessarily ads, but cleaving more, and I like that.
Yep.
Because it did feel like for a long time, like we just have AOE abilities that we just never do in raids, besides dungeons.
It's kind of there.
But Sugar Riot solidified that they can do an ads phase and make it fun, and like utilizing movement around the room. I love it. It's great.
Yep.
It deserves a spot in my opinion, but dancing mother heckin' green. First of all, my favorite color, so I was always going to be excited to play it. So like when I heard it was that, I was like, okay, this will be fun. The thing that it does the most, it takes the music that is so good with Final Fantasy XIV.
Yep.
And what makes Final Fantasy like talked about for all is like no matter how bad a game is, people talk about the music and how good it always is. This takes that in any game, and just like Final Fantasy game, and just brings that to another level in general. It's so simple too, because it's a disco song. And it just like, it lines up with the abilities and transitions with abilities, like actually does.
But the song itself
And
is
it's perfect.
probably the most complicated song. I'm assuming Socken did make that song. If he did, then it's the most.
Yeah, he did.
It's up there with the most complicated songs he's ever made. Because there's this song. There's probably Answers. Answers is up there as far as a complicated song, of course, and probably a few other ones. But it is up there as his most complicated song, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. And that's my list. I think overall my favorite tier, and I know it's a little like spread out as it's shown, but kind of how you can tell though, like where they're laid out a bit. Cruiserweight was it for me. Like Cruiserweight was the best tier of the expansion for me. That being said, they're all great. Like,
yeah, they are truly impressive. How they cook that.
Yes, it just, there is not a tier I would say like I don't want to do that tier again. I hate like just shitting on Endwalker. It's just like what we're doing in our mind static. But like Pandemonium, like I could do tier 1. I don't.
They're not up to snuff. They're just not up to snuff.
No.
Like I can't imagine re-clearing Hegemony, the tree. Like, oh my god, how did you guys get through that?
Yeah, it was ass.
Re-clearing Phoenix, re-clearing Ericthonius, that was probably fine. Probably killed them so fast you didn't even notice, honestly.
Re-clearing P8S, like, oh my god.
Yeah, but that's like a challenge to overcome. Well, like, but of course I know it was that's the only time they've objectively overtuned it because they actually nerfed it. So I wasn't there for that, but yeah, I'd imagine it was pretty bad. I think about it. But
yeah.
okay,
you want to reset yours?
Yeah,
or
there's
reset
a few.
This?
There's a few controversies, I'd say. There's a lot of similarities that's going to be apparent, but a lot of differences too. Let's see. Let me think about this. Okay, so I can sort this into fights that I know I definitely don't care for as much, and other fights that I know are so good, they're genre-defining, concept-defining. These fights will be referenced for years from now. And so I can easily divvy those up, but then from there, there's some minute stuff. And so I'll start with Honeybee. That's a very solid mid-fight to me. Everything considered, I like the song, I like the bee stuff is funny, but every time we got to that fight, I'm like, okay, let's just get through Honeybee. Like, mechanically, it wasn't that fun of a fight. I don't even know what it is. I still like the fight, it is still a bee, it is still better than so many other Savage fights in the game. But it is just, for the Arcadian, it is just a mid-fight. It is just, I just don't care for it. Okay, next up is gonna be Black Cat, I'd say. I can definitely say I liked Black Cat more than Honeybee. Maybe that was because it wasn't as painful, I don't know. But progging Honeybee probably made it take a bit of a hit, but then even re-clearing it, it was just so meh. Black Cat at least didn't overstay its welcome, and had fun. Even on re-clears, the getting knocked up mechanic was fun. Even on re-clears, being the guy to be like, oh, the clone cat was there, so it's the cat is gonna be B north or B west. I can't totally remember how the mechanic works. It's been so long. That was fun, but yeah, I would say they solidly are B. Vamp Fatale, all in all, I think I could put high B or low A. Because here's the thing with Vamp Fatale, there's nothing I specifically dislike about Vamp Fatale. I overall like the music, even though the 2 rap verses need to go. I love the voice acting of Vamp Fatale. That's something to note. Her voice acting is really good. She did a great job.
It is. Voice acting in general, let's just do a quick shout out with Heavyweight.
Yes.
Like, we have like really good voice acting in this, and just like the music having individual for each like.
Yeah. Except for some of the extremes, the voice acting of the extremes gets a little dodgy, but it's so memeable that it does
but we
work.
don't care about that.
But I will say Wicked Thunder's voice actress was so good that I needed to look her up and see what else she was in, just so I could see if I could play a game or something where her voice character's in it a bunch. Unfortunately, there's not really examples of that. But Wicked Thunder's voice actress was so good. It's so tragic that they voice the fights but don't voice the major cutscenes in between. I never understood that, because you can't tell me it's budget. You're not saving on budget having them voice act like 4 less lines. Because remember, I'm not saying they should voice act every scene. I think if they just voice acted 1 or 2 extra scenes, you can't tell me that's a crazy budget increase. It would add so much to these quests, and it's just a tiny. We're talking. I would assume that's like a 1% budget increase. Because this is given. They are already hiring the voice actor or actress to do a ton of lines for the boss fight. They have a ton of lines in the boss fight. You're telling me they couldn't have voiced Wicked Thunder in the cutscene where she nukes Brute Bomber and like comes down dramatically and says, demands our soul. You're telling me they couldn't have voice acted a lot? That was like 4 or 5 lines. That would have added so much to that scene, because her voice actress is super impressive. That would have added so much to that scene. That would have been like a 1% budget increase. You can't tell me otherwise. But yeah, that's its own thing. Voice acting, incredible. Voice acting of Vamp Fatale was really good. I always look forward to hearing her lines because the voice acting is good. Same with Wicked Thunder. I always look forward to hearing Wicked Thunder's lines. Same with Tyrant. I always look forward to hearing Tyrant's lines. He did great too. Brute Bomber as well. Brute Bomber is funny. Okay, back to the tier list. We have Honeybee, then Black Cat, then Vamp Fatale, and B tier. Though Vamp Fatale I kind of want to rate higher. I haven't finished thinking about Vamp Fatale. So, she's overall, there's nothing I don't like about her fight, first of all. So that's important. Because at least in Black Cat, it's just kind of forgettable at times. And Honeybee, I didn't enjoy, definitely progging it at times. And it's just overall meh. There's a lot of mechanics where you're just kind of there. Whereas with Vamp Fatale, both ad phases I like a lot. I like both ad phases. They're both well done, and that doesn't happen that often. So honestly, as I'm talking about it, I'm going to bump Vamp Fatale to a low A. Just talking about it right now. Next up, let's see. I'm kind of thinking on the spot here. So, it is tough because some of these fights are going to end up higher. So I think I'm going to do Brute Abominator above Vamp Fatale in low A. And so I was surprised that you put Brute Bomber above Brute Abominator, but I could totally agree. I like Brute Bomber 100% more than Brute Abominator. Some people will say that the light heavyweight fights were too easy, but for me, that doesn't dock as many points as it seems to do for other people. So we'll see how that ends up playing out.
I want to have fun more than like difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a dog shit easy fight, and there could be a really harder fight, but it depends on how fun it is to do it. I don't really care in between. Like,
and so Brute Abominator.
It's the same thing. Like, what was it? P6 with the 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 the
Hegemony,
snake, like
yeah.
Hegemony, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's an example of a really easy fight that's
It's not
really
that
bad.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brute Abominator, it's just the snatching defeat from draws of victory on reclears that happen way too often. People had so much trouble on the final Thorns, like 4 tethers from the wall mechanic. I don't really enjoy much of P1. P2 I kind of liked. P2 I definitely liked. And P3 wasn't bad, but it's just... I didn't really enjoy going into Brute Abominator. That might have been due to how abominable it was to prog it. That probably left a lasting impression, but I never looked forward to M7, honestly. I just did not. Okay, next up, I would say this is probably a good spot for Lindworm P1 as mid-A, because I've heard a lot of people complain about Lindworm being too easy. That doesn't affect me as much. It's the 3 slaughter sheds at the end. If there's a proper good mechanic instead of triple slaughter shed, it would be a bit higher. But it's just really disappointing that it did that.
Yep.
But I liked Mortal. Mortal's fun to resolve. I liked Act 1. Act 1's like a great starter mechanic. Act 2 was a great mechanic. A genuinely good mechanic. Looper redefined. Great. I didn't mind Act 3. You don't like losing uptime, but for me it's only a few seconds, so I don't mind. So that didn't affect me much. Curtain Call was perfectly fine. But then it already starts repeating. It repeats Mortal. Don't forget that. It repeats Mortal and then does triple slaughter set. So it does repeat into new mechanic, because the first slaughter is a new mechanic, into repeat. That docks it a lot. I still liked it though, and of course the music is great. The music is so iconic.
Yep.
Everything burns. So solid mid A. Again, we're all these fights, like, they feel like I'm rating them low, but I'm rating them in mid A. It's because all of them are actually so good regardless. It's just so funny to think. This is a good spot for Tyrant, I think. Tyrant is next.
Okay.
Middle upper A. I really do like the fight. The weapons is great, especially as a tank. So I did non-paladin tank. When you get the movement down to weapons and you get the efficient GCDs of GCD, move to the spot, he teleports, you GCD, move out. So if it's axe, he teleports, GCD, you move out of it. Or for sword, he teleports, GCD, move diagonal. You use his circle hitbox, and you use the diagonal. You GCD, move along that diagonal to know that you're moving to the right spot. Very fun. I never got tired of that. Orbital, once you learn the sprint, move, you feel so good when you do it right, because you're just like, there's like all these meters flying everywhere. Like, oh, okay. Thanks for passing me by, kind stranger.
Yep.
Again, meteors, very fun mechanic to do, grabbing the tethers. Arena splits, I honestly didn't really have that much fun with arena split. The launching yourself part was good, but it was, at the end of the day, it's not a hard mechanic. I get why people had trouble with it, but at the end of the day, what you're literally doing is not too bad. So, I don't know. So yeah, Ecliptic, tanks have it easy there, so tanks don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Tyrant. It's a really well done fight. The DPS check kind of took away from it a little bit because it was, in my opinion, objectively overtuned, but still a great fight. Next, I'm going to put Brute Bomber above Tyrant, because yes, is Brute Bomber a significantly easier fight, a very easy fight? Yes. But it's not free, and doing the mechanics is fun, and it wasn't as painful as Tyrant, so you're taking away the painfulness. You're adding some easiness, which docks it a little, but I overall really liked the fight more. Just the Bombarious Assault, the knockback towers where you ping-pong yourself, that was really creative. Love that mechanic. Final fuse down is a fun mechanic, just seeing everyone on the fuses. Again, this is a very easy mechanic, but the get ready for an explosion of pain, whatever that mechanic is. It has a very wacky name, but again, I always look forward to seeing it. I always look forward to him climbing the ring and going, then jump down in the center. Near the end of the fight, I'm forgetting the name, but it's the mechanic where everyone gets a fuse on their head, and then he telegraphs a bunch of cone bads into point-blank AoEs bads that turn into donuts. It's near the end of the fight, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that mechanic. I have a lot of fun doing that mechanic because you're kind of weaving in all the bad. There's the bad circles that you have to dodge into it after it goes off. Then the circles are spreading. Then there's always a point where you have to kind of weave between a bunch of the bad under the boss and then come out the other side. I always love doing that mechanic. It is a very satisfying mechanic. Both chain death matches, you feel like you're thinking. I appreciate them. All around, great fight. The only mechanic I don't like is final fuse down. I just do not like that attack. That first one before fuse field. People wipe on that way too much. I mean, great fight overall. I really like it. I think it's overall just more fun than Tyrant, but they're both great fights still. It's just more that it didn't come with so much punishment, so eked it out. So now we're getting into some truly good fights, and so it gets really tough how to compare them. I think so. This is the start of my S, and I'm gonna put extremes in low S. But it's tough. I'm between extremes and Howling Blade right now. It's tough.
Sure.
So extremes, I like that they brought together how fun it is to cleave. There's some very impressive mechanics they do where it is on you. Yes, we have a raid plan that solves it for us, but it is on us to craft the solve, and I really appreciate that. With water fire snakes, planting the fire strategically, where the tank needing to position red hot so that you can aim the cone properly, aiming the cone properly so that there's enough space for everyone. You have a lot of control. There's a million different possible ways to actually do that mechanic correctly. And so there's a lot of freedom, which is cool. The parallel solve. Again, you can solve it other ways, but parallel makes the most sense. A lot of freedom. Arena split. There's less freedom on arena splits, but I guess every mechanic is fun, and trying to change your rotation to make the cleaving work, especially on Dark Knight, was very fun, because Dark Knight has a lot of cleavable attacks. That makes it fun. Trying to manage your disesteem. I accidentally had it tick off cooldown a few times because I was workshopping when to get my disesteem off to get a cleave in and stuff like that. I had a huge amount of fun workshopping that fight to get the cleaves in and make it work. So I really appreciate it. Did a great job. Not genre defining. It's not the first time they've had a cleave thing like that, but it's up there. I like it a lot. Very impressive fight. The memes from that fight are hilarious. I always love hearing the song. I always look forward to going into it, and then sometimes we'll get stuck on arena split, which sucks, but I still always look forward to going into it. Whereas Honeybee, I wouldn't necessarily really be excited to go into Honeybee for reference, which is why I put her so much lower. Streams,
that makes sense.
I always look forward to it, and it always kind of gets my brain into gear because I don't just do the same rotation, because I switch it up to get more cleaves, which is cool. Next up is Howling Blade. Okay?
Yep.
So it's mainly because of P2, but P1 I just appreciate it as just being a clean movement execution fight. Just getting down that revolution was so satisfying as a tank. Almost every mechanic is fun to solve. Millennial, I always enjoyed Millennial, despite clearly a lot of people really not liking that mechanic.
Yeah.
Ad's phase as tank is very fun because the whole thing, when you feel like you're a good tank when you're moving the boss correctly and you're not just moving the boss correctly, you're doing it while keeping uptime. And that Ad's phase is the epitome of that. GCD, move him a little, GCD, move him a little, GCD, move him a little. It's very satisfying to do that correctly. You have a lot of agency as a tank because you aim the cone out, because there's tons of times where a tank wiped because he didn't use his agency to not aim the cone out.
Yep.
There's a lot of little uptime optimizations, like I already said with Revolution, I like a lot. But then there's little things like when he goes untargetable, and then the green heads appear, and before they go off, though, he becomes targetable, so you can get a GCD and then immediately get to your spot. Like, little things like that are great. Love that. P1, just a great, solid, all-around fight. P2 added in a new concept. Not totally new, because they're in Diamond Weapon, but the way they use them here is unique. So I would say new. With 5 little platforms around the bosses, what fight even compares to that? The only thing I can think of is Diamond Weapon, and it only kind of did it. It was 2 big platforms. You know, I appreciate it. Diamond Weapon set up this fight. I mean, clearly, Diamond Weapon was the original, and this fight just took it and ran with it. And yes, P2 is easy. Twofold's the only really hard mechanic, but it's still really fun. Doing the ultraviolets of teleporting, managing your GCDs so that you don't lose uptime teleporting between the mechanics, between the platforms. Twofold itself is a very fun mechanic to do, of everyone spreading out. Tanks managing your mitts is fun, of course. All in all, it's just a great fight. The finale is really hype, where he slowly destroys each platform. That's of such a creative enrage. I'm a sucker for creative enrages.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of some other creative enrages. Brute Bomber, he comes in from the top rope and knocks everyone back.
Yeah, because he jumped. Yeah.
What are some other ones? Sugar Riot's in... Well, we haven't gone there yet. We'll get there later.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll get to the creative enrages later. Okay, so yeah, Howling Blade, great fight. But now this is where it gets even tougher. It gets so tough. I really... These last few fights I see so evenly. They're all so impressive. So here's how I see it. Dancing Green is concept-defining. Is a concept-defining fight with how it does so much with the music and all that. Sugar Riot is a genre-defining fight, bringing back ads phase after years, proving it can be done, and every future major ad phase is going to be compared to Sugar Riot.
Yes.
M12P2 literally is a genre-defining fight with Idyllic Dream. It will be referenced for every combo mechanic ever. Anytime they try to do a complicated combo mechanic, it is going to be done in comparison to Idyllic Dream. Oh, it's a tough mechanic. Oh, it's no Idyllic, though. That's going to be the thing for the next few years. Oh, it's not Idyllic, though. Oh, you know what? This one was tough. It actually comes close to Idyllic. Oh, this one, oh my god, they topped Idyllic. That's going to be the discussion for very complicated combo mechanics for the next 3 years. It's, again, genre-defining. Wicked Thunder is just all-around super impressive fights, and it introduced the concept of a boss transition as part of the fight, which the only thing that comes close is Titan, and even then, it's kind of whatever. I guess E8, but the boss transition is barely a transition. She goes from one naked form to another naked form, so I barely count that. Yeah. So I'm having a lot of trouble with these last 4. They are all S, they are all amazing. Just how do I want to even it out? I don't know. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let's start with Idyllic Dream. Sure. P12. Here's the thing. Idyllic Dream is great. Rep 2 is great. Rep 1 and Blood Mana is whatever. And it's so tough, because Idyllic Dream is so good, it's clearly deserving of S tier, but compared to the other fights left, I don't know, it's tough. It's so tough, it really is. But the Idyllic is a genre-defining mechanic, it deserves to be a top spot. It is such an impressive fight. All these next 4, including this one, they're all so close together, it's so tough for me to really even them out. Because they're S tier, they're each S tier for their own reason. So it's hard to just say that reason is stronger than this reason. So I'm trying to find ways to make it make sense. The Rep 1 and Rep 2 and Blood Mana They were fine mechanics. They're great. They set up teaching you about idyllic, so they're important. But the real star of the show is idyllic, and that's half the fight. So the other half of the fight is perfectly fine. So, all in all, it's an extremely well done, amazing S-tier fight that is genre defining, and that's what we end up with. Next up, I'm gonna go with... I'll go with Wicked Thunder. So Wicked Thunder is genre defining. It is just... The way it does the boss transition is so impressive. The music in both phases is so good. And they go together so well. I love her voice acting. I think about all the mechanics. Witch Hunt, the tracking, how many times she blasts, her electrope mechanic, ion cannon, super good mechanic. The boss transition is incredible. And then in phase 2, it gets easier, but as tank muster bombs, just fun to do. The mechanic where you get splits is every time we get to that part, it's so hype. Where it's been too long, but she says, "My sword cleaves all to dust," or something. She strikes the most aura-farming pose imaginable before she destroys the platform. She is so far away from you. She's basically relatively like here, and she's holding a sword up into the camera like this. It's just the pose that she does where she's so far away and her arm is gigantic and holding the sword up to the camera. That's one of my favorite aura forming poses of the entire Raid series. And it was so long ago since I've done the fight, but it's so good. And the music, of course, because the music is so good and it changes in real time, the music always syncs up. It's like an ultimate. It's got the ultimate level of polish with the music syncing up, and so when she says that and is right when it goes into the next so like she says "my sword" right as it does "my sword," and then again that's a little lineup too. All in all, great fight. Some people would dock it because it's easy. I get that, but it's just not even close. And the sunrise, of course, could be better. But everything else is just incredible, and I cannot wait to see the next time they try to do a proper in-gameplay transition that's like this. And to clarify, not like Titan. Even though Titan's a great fight, it's not a true gameplay transition, because essentially a cutscene plays. Because we're not doing anything. Next up, I'm going to now do Dancing Green. Again, the concept defining is so impressive. The concept defining part of this fight, just the music syncing up with everything was so impressive, and I cannot wait to see the next time they try to do this. I really hope they do. It's just so impressive. And here's the thing, yes, it's an easy fight, but it's the first in a tier, and so in my opinion, it doesn't get docked at all being easy, because it's supposed to be easy. It's the first fight of the tier. So, it gets 0 docking, and it has the genre-defining stuff. Just incredible. Okay? And then our finale is Sugar Riot, because all in all, both are genre-defining and concept-defining and all that, but Sugar Riot's mechanically more fun than Dancing Green, and that I'm just using that as some current convoluted logic to eke it out. That ads phase is so good. I look forward to doing it every time we get to it. The same way I look forward to seeing the music interact with Dancing Green every time we get to that, so it's so close to judge it. The same way I always look forward to seeing the boss transition in M4S. The same way I always look forward to doing Idyllic. You know, they're all so tight together. But I always look forward to doing that ad phase. I have so much fun. And then the before and after the ad phase, I also have so much fun. The mechanic where with the Thunder's Cloud, I always have so much fun doing as tank. As tank, you are trying to make sure you are ahead of everyone to make the boss get to the correct spot as fast as possible for everyone to have uptime. So it's so enjoyable. And doing the mechanic right with launching yourself is also a great mechanic. It just gets overshadowed by ads and the Thundercloud. Desert's fun. No complaints about Desert. Optimizing uptime is so fun in the Desert phase. It is just an incredible fight. I look forward to doing that fight every time. I will want to teach other people that fight. It's an ultimate level fight because of ads. It is straight up an ultimate mechanic. Even though it's the second fight of the tier, So that's another thing to consider. Usually the second fight, they don't get so ambitious, and they got so ambitious, and it paid off so
Oh, that's
much
true. Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
second
They're just gonna
second
like keep it
tier.
safe.
And so that bumps it up even more for me. The same way Dancing Green didn't get bumped down for being easy for me. This got bumped up for being, they took a risk and it paid the fuck off. So just so impressive. Yeah, that's my finale. So our main disparity, I think, was Honeybee.
Yes, probably.
But other than that,
I'm
it was
keeping
pretty
track.
close.
Yeah. I mean, when we do it together, you know what I mean? When we do it together, bro. It's like, what do you, it's self-explanatory, you know, like it's hard to not feel this way. Like if you do them, you know, you'll have differences of like preference, but all of these fights are really good. And I want to be very clear, like me having 2 fights in B, I think that's very okay. And if you did it, you understand. But it's crazy that your lowest tier fight is like high B.
Yeah.
Like that's impressive to me. This is, in the years that I have been playing MMOs in general, this is like my favorite raid series ever in MMO. And I always reference like with WoW and doing Blackrock Mountain, and that was really fun. And that was like really, really fun because it was fast fight. I enjoyed it. And these somehow kill it, man. They just do it again, but better. And I just don't know how they did it. And they just took, they were serious when they said, we're going to take this fight. We're going to reevaluate how our battle content is. And if this is the same level of like, let's make things just better, and that's going to be what the job changes that are coming out in 8.0, like this is that level, I'm excited. I don't know what you could be mad at. I don't know what you could be worried about, because at this point in time, I'm locked into it. I'm excited for it, and I hope that it is, but that also puts a big, you know, here's the bar. If you did it with the battle content, like here's the bar, and it's got to be even better. So we'll see. I hope it goes really well.
We have a nice little ultimate to look forward to before that.
Oh, true. Yeah, we got some stuff, and hey, you know, we're gonna have Beastmaster coming up too, or whatever. So that's
that'll be fun.
That'd be cool.
I need to catch up with my blue mage. I want to get the Morble mount. I'll probably set that as a goal.
Yeah, I would probably set that at like end of expansion. That's probably when I'll do it. That sounds fun, actually. You want to do that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think I've done Twintania and maybe Nail already. I'm not totally sure. It's been a lot. This was such a long time ago. I'm not sure.
I don't know where I'm at. It might be where you're at. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Sounds fun. Cool. All right. Well, everybody, this was our final raid tier analysis, our raid tier list going over Arcadian. I appreciate everyone that's been through these free videos with us. Thank you so much. As always, my name is Dylan here with FF Media. I'm glad we can take you on this again. I'm sure we'll have another tier list over Final Fantasy XIV in the future. We'll see how that goes. Stress, anything you want to say before we head out?
Oh, I know we're excited about Resident Evil Requiem, and that's right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to that. That's my main thing to talk about. I'm gonna be.
I better see a hatchet-only blind RE9 play.
The hatchet looks pretty OP, so we'll have to see how that even pans out. It might actually be pretty easy, because it seems like you have an infinite axe. We'll have to see.
Yeah, because you just got to sharpen it. That's
yeah,
it.
he has his block of cheese that he rubs on it a little bit.
Well, as you know, I know I've showed you, but everybody that is listening during this up until RE9, we're going to be doing pretty much kind of exclusive Resident Evil content all the way through. Obviously, today's an exception, so we'll sprinkle in some variety here, but it is going to be Resident Evil 9 for FF Media until the launch, and then past it to do a review. So you expect my platinum reviews along with other shorts and content around it. So please stay tuned to that. Stay subscribed to the channel for that. We appreciate you as always. Have a great one. Stress, once again, thanks for being here. We'll see you for the next one.
It was fun. Be around.